everyone. I'm Chaz here for Board Game Geek, joined by Jeff from Atlas Games.
How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm actually glad you're here because you are going to teach me a very important lesson about never bring a knife.
I am going to do that. This is a social deduction gunfight.
Okay.
If you want to think about this as Reservoir Dogs, the card game, that would not be too far off.
I would like to think about
So
that like this.
we have all been planning the heist of a lifetime for months and months. We are a devious criminal gang. We have done the thing. We have gone into the casino. Everything went down perfectly. We are running out the front doors of the casino with duffel bags full of cash.
Okay.
Suddenly someone gets a call that our gang has been infiltrated by cops.
Oh.
And so a gunfight breaks out.
Okay.
Everyone is going to get assigned a roll card. So there are criminals and there are cops. So depending on how many players they are, we're going to take some of these and like shuffle them up together. So if there's 4 of us, we'll get 3 of each.
Okay.
We put the other ones to the side, shuffle them up. Everyone will get one. You will be assigned a role as a cop or a criminal. So you'll have that one that I saw accidentally. But let's pretend I don't know that. I'll get one. We'll deal them all the way around the table. So then when you start, you'll know what you are. Mm-hmm. You will know what the player to your left is. So you will know what this player is up to, and they will know around the table. And then the goal of the game is to figure out who is on your team and to make sure someone on the other team falls first.
Okay.
Okay? The game's going to end immediately when someone's eliminated, which means there is not going to be anyone sitting around. What happens is when somebody dies, they lose, and everyone on their team loses, and everyone on the other team wins. So if I am a criminal in my Nixon mask here, I am going to win if we manage to kill a cop first.
Okay.
Okay, an undercover cop who has been infiltrating our gang.
Right.
All right, so how does that work in practice? We play rounds of cards. There are 7 different cards in the game, and let me tell you what they are, and then I'll tell you how they are played.
Good.
Okay? Guns are the most obvious thing that we might bring to a gunfight. If when you reveal the stack of 4 cards that accumulates in front of you, for every 2 guns in it, you'll take a wound. Okay. Wounds are these. If you take 3 wounds, you're dead, and your team loses.
Okay.
So guns, not good to have played on you.
Right.
All right. Armor cancels guns. Each armor cancels 1 gun. So if you have gun, armor, money, say, you're not going to take any wounds because an armor cancels a gun. You only have 1 left, and it takes 2 guns to cause a wound.
Okay.
All right.
Sense? Makes sense.
Money is what we have just stolen a ton of. Money is the only card in this game that you will keep from turn to turn.
Okay.
So that is something. You've got your roll card. If you reveal money after a round, you'll just sort of tuck that under your roll card. Everybody gets to see how many you have so that you're not like keeping secret amounts of money or whatever. After we resolve cards, people can spend money. 3 money will let you heal a wound. So that's a way you can come back from this circumstance. And you can wind up, since nobody knows who's on which team necessarily, you might wind up healing someone else because you fear that they are on your team and they're about to die.
Right. Yeah, because as soon as one person dies, that whole team's out.
Yes.
So does collecting a thing of money also kind of start to make you a target?
It can do, especially if you notice that someone on the other team is collecting money. Now, also, there's crime. Crime is like the armor of guns, if that sentence makes any sense at all. Crime cancels money. So if you reveal these 4 cards, the armor is going to cancel the gun, which is good for you, but the crime is going to take away the money. So that is going to be as though nothing happened to you that turn.
Because it doesn't pay.
It doesn't pay. It doesn't pay at all. The 3 other cards are relatively rare in the deck. Intel lets you look at somebody else's roll, if that is turned up in front of you. The mole card is interesting. So you remember I said everybody gets a roll.
Yes.
There is also 1 roll dealt to the middle of the table. That's the boss. If you have the mole plate on you, you'll actually switch roles with the boss.
Okay.
So that is a way that if your team is losing horribly and you are allied with fools and morons, you might be able to play the mole on yourself and switch teams. Or if my teammate over there is about to die, I can maybe switch him out to the other team and let them lose. So this is a card, the mole, with high potential for shenanigans and fun, especially since nobody necessarily knows for sure which team the boss is on. The other thing that the boss is good for is because reveals and resolutions are simultaneous, if one player on each team falls in the same round, the boss is a tiebreaker. So the boss's
Okay.
team wins in that case.
Okay, that's good.
All right. The hit is another way to use money. You can use 3 money if you have the hit card to deal a wound straight up to someone without going through the medium of guns. You just know a guy and you can deal one of these cards immediately. That's a good game ender. If you see that somebody's got 2 wounds and you're pretty sure that they're on the other team, the hit is often the last bit that goes down in a game.
Okay, so it's not like you got hit, you're putting out a hit.
You are putting out a hit. Whoever has this card in front of them has the opportunity to put out a hit. So now let me tell you how these cards get in front of people.
All right.
So everybody's going to get 4 cards at the beginning of the round. So you'll have 4, I'll have 4, all of these other imaginary players will have 4. We'll go around the table playing 1 card at a time, and there's 3 rules about how they are played. Each player is going to have cards accumulate in front of them in their stack.
Okay.
Okay? So when it is your turn, you play a card. The first time we go around the table, you may not play on yourself. So the first thing that you do is going to have to be done to someone else. So you can't sandbag yourself with armor to start. You can't stockpile money to start. It's a gunfight. You're going to have to do something.
Yeah. Get your hands
So
dirty.
your first card has to go to someone else. The second rule is that the first card that lands on a given player has to go face up. So if I want to do something to you and I'm pretty sure you're on the other team and I want to play this gun on you, everybody's going to know I did that. So if I play that in front of you, the first card on you has to go up. Now, if someone else has already played a card on you, maybe this mole card, now I can play face down on you.
Okay.
And no one else is going to know what that is, because you're going to take your 4 and shuffle them up, so you don't know which of these cards came from which player.
Sure.
The last rule is that every player can only accept 4 cards. So you start with 4 cards. 4 cards are going to accumulate in front of you. One of the hilarious things that can happen there is, depending on how play goes out, like if you've got a last gun card in your hand, but you are also the only player who can still accept a card, you might wind up shooting yourself as a last minute thing if you did not plan ahead. So, also sort of Reservoir Dogs style, the dark humor kind of goes on there. So everybody winds up with 4 cards, whatever it is that they are. Let's say I've got those 3 that you've got in your hand or whatever they are. At the end of this, we'll shuffle them up.
Okay.
And then you just reveal them, and there aren't really any decisions to make with these. So you can kind of go around the table super quick and just see what happens. So if I reveal this stuff, 2 guns is enough to deal me a wound. This one goes to waste because it takes 2, and then this hit card I can bank to use later once I accumulate enough money to pay for it. So what happened to you here?
All right, so I got some intel, so I could...
So you can look at my roll card now and find out who I am.
Look at that.
All right.
Discard 1 money from your stack or bank.
So you don't have any money, so that crime did not hurt you.
Okay. Only 1 gun, so I'm safe there.
Yep.
Dodged a bullet there.
Yep, you sure did.
And then the mole.
So you're going to switch roles with the boss.
Now, are there multiple mole cards in the deck, or is there just 1?
There is 1 mole in the deck, and the mole and the hit cards are interesting. Those actually sit out the first time through the deck.
Okay.
When you set up the game, these are the first 2 cards of the discard pile. So because these are not super interesting at the very beginning of the game, they are dealt in the second time that we go through. So the first time we go through the deck, which is usually 2 or 3 rounds of play, there's lots of shooting and lots of armor and accumulating money and stuff. And then it gets a little bit more subtle later on as we have mole card switching people and hits that are good endgame cards.
Okay. I really like the mechanism that we're not just going around like every round. It's not like, okay, now we're going to play cards on you this round.
Right.
And it's not just going around the table. It's very random and haphazard how those cards are being played on people.
Like a gunfight.
Yeah, I guess so. You learn something new every day. No, that's really dynamic and neat about it. So where is Never Bring a Knife at in terms of its production?
Never Bring a Knife came out in January. January 17th, I think, was its street date. So it is all around you in the world.
It's all around us. Excellent. And how many does it play up to?
This one is 4 to 8.
4 to 8.
So it is a really nice, in terms of its length, it's about a 20-minute game, 30-minute maybe, but the fact that it plays well at like 6, 7. For larger game groups, this is a nice one to break out, either to fill 20 or 30 minutes at a time, or to play multiple times in a night if you're a group that really loves social deduction games and doing them over and over and over. This is a nice one for those larger groups, because it doesn't suffer when there are many players.
Exactly. Cool. Very nice. Well, thank you, Jeff, for sharing this with us. And if you'd like to check it out, check out the Atlas Games website or the Board Game Geek page for Never Bring a Knife. I keep wanting to say the rest of that sentence.
Right on.
So I'm going to go practice that. In the meantime, though, take care I'll talk to you again soon.